The following is paid programming.
It's time to talk taxes.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Gulius and EG Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Gulius.
Hey, everybody, this is the Tax Lady, and we're going to talk about taxes because lots of things are coming down the pike, and we want to make sure that you avail yourself of everything that's out there. And I'm joined in studio with my buddies, Tiffany Fabian. Hey, Tiff.
Hey, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to you, and Christopher.
Hello, Esther.
Hello, Christopher Fabian. Obviously, they're a match
duo.
set, right?
Yep.
And this week's a big week for your daughter.
Yes, very exciting. Very, very exciting. Gracie Fabian is getting married to Corey Fabian.
Stolting.
Oh, Corey Stolting. Oh, my gosh.
I was going to say,
Corey
I don't
Stolting.
think Corey wants to be a Fabian, right? But
no.
it's a wonderful family, and it's going to take place this week. And so congratulations to Grace and Corey.
Yes.
And we got other things down the pike here. We have our seminar, the One Big Beautiful Bill seminar is going to be held. When is it in September?
The 16th, 17th, and 18th.
So not 3 days, not three separate. You don't have to come 3 days in a row, but our training room only holds so many people, right?
Right.
So we're doing it 3 times in over a 3-day period.
Correct.
That's right.
So how do you register?
You can go to our website, egtax.com, or you can call the office at 632-7886, and Lisa, the extraordinary Lisa, will register you over the phone.
Right, and of course it's very expensive. It's free. And if you're not our client, don't feel weird. We just want to help. What we're going to do is make sure that everybody brings a copy of their tax return so we can show you numerically exactly how much your taxes are going to go down, or if there's something that we can do to facilitate a larger refund or a smaller balance due. We're going to do that in the seminar as well, right?
Yep, we are. Yeah, it's a great opportunity because, as a matter of fact, on when I was at the office a couple of days ago, one of my clients came in and he's like, the reason that we're here is I want you to look at our tax return because now with the big, beautiful bill, maybe I shouldn't be withholding 21% from my Social Security.
That's right. Yep.
And so we're dropping it down to 7%. Of his withholding. So like you said, it's really important that you know the pieces and parts of your own tax situation that we can make modifications.
And what you're saying, Tiff, is true. You can wait till next year if you want. But in the meantime, you're sending them in money that they shouldn't be getting. And then in January, February, March, and April, you're going to be sitting around hoping that they send you your refund. And they may say, well, we'd send it to you, but we need to verify your identity. And so that all takes extra time. However, right now, you're in the driver's seat. And you can change your W-4 at work. You can change your W-4 for your pension. You can change your estimated payments. You can have less withheld out of your Social Security. And that's really what the beauty of the Big Beautiful Bill is a lot of people are going to save money.
Yeah, and then like today, my daughter Grace went down in the basement to get something, and she noticed that our furnace was leaking a little bit. I don't know what that means. I'm afraid.
Your furnace is leaking?
A little bit. Yeah, I don't know what that means. So Chris went down and looked. And the nice thing is, if we do need a new furnace, we can get $600 on our tax return because that closes up at the end of the year, right?
That's right. That's just one of those changes. If you're doing energy conservation, doors, windows, furnace, hot water tank, insulation, solar, all that stuff is going to come to a close December 31st. So you want to make sure that you check your furnace out. I don't understand how a furnace can leak.
Well,
Chris?
because of the air conditioning brings in the water.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Well, maybe that's just
And that's
condensation.
Who knows? Yep. My wife did have the air very cool this summer.
Okay. All right. And then the other thing is we have our tax school that's starting in October, right?
Right. that meets twice a week, either in the mornings or evenings. And there's also an online version. It's free of charge. It meets, again, twice a week. And you could sign up at egtax.com or, again, call the office at 632-7886. And as you say beautifully, I think you say this so well, you learn taxes from A to Z, and you'll be the hit at every party. I know, no fail, wherever we go, there's always a question about taxes, you know? So it just touches every
it's interesting.
aspect.
Like I could be walking down in the grocery store, and this time of year, people go, "Oh no, it's the tax lady," you know. But really, it's because they think of taxes as something that they don't like, understandably so. But we try to make it so that, you know, you pay the least, right? The least amount, you get the largest refund, you pay the least, and we as we're doing your return, we say, you know, now next year your child is turning 17. Bad news, right?
Right.
Because kids that turn 17 lose the child tax credit. It drops from $2,200 this year down to $500. So
Yeah, or maybe your kid is 18 or 19 and they're going to college, and
And then
there
that's
could be some
something
good
good.
news. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Okay, I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady, 8030930. 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 716-8030930. Okay, so one of the features of the big beautiful bill was that the SALT deduction, which was limited to $10,000, state and local taxes withheld, that was limited to $10,000 because, quite frankly, the last time when there was such major change in tax law was when Trump was the president the first time, and quite frankly, it was a retaliation against high tax states, right? So a lot of the other states said, why should we help high tax states pay less in federal taxes? So they capped it at $10,000. Well, this year, when they were negotiating for the big beautiful bill, they said, you know, there's all kinds of discrepancy in tax law. You know, there's a marriage penalty. Different states have maybe hurricanes and tornadoes. I mean, there's a discrepancy in funds that are used by different states. Well, they said, you know, it isn't fair that New Yorkers get penalized, so they liberalized the state and local tax deductions up to $40,000, which means that a lot of people that couldn't itemize these last 4 years are going to be able to itemize again. So we thought we should kind of take a look at that so that you can start mentally planning so that you can get a larger refund or pay less in taxes. So we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah, because that's another important thing when you look about changing your withholdings is that maybe you'll be able to take advantage of some of that SALT deduction
And then
increase.
and then you even reduce it more,
Yeah.
right? All right, I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 716-8030930. We're going to take a short break. On the other side, we're going to start off by talking about medical. And medical is, especially now with people getting dental implants, it's a lot easier to qualify. So we're going to talk about that on the other side. I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady. See you in a minute. You know, the other day I was down in Florida and I went to South Beach and I saw this. We Are Family made me think about it. I saw the building that they filmed the birdcage in, and that's where they sang the song "We Are Family." So, because to us, you are family.
Do you remember who was in that movie?
Robin Williams, and
Yeah.
he was so funny.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
just. I came home then and I watched it again just because it was a stitch. It really
Yeah.
was really a great movie.
What a
All right,
talent.
so let's go to our phones before we go to what we're talking about here. We have John that has been holding. Hi, John. How can we help you, sir?
Hi. First of all, I'd like to say that my wife and I, we've been having Jack at the Union Road branch do our taxes the past 8 or 9 years, and he's fantastic.
He really is. We're very blessed to have him.
I totally agree. I hope he comes back this coming year.
We hope so too.
Yeah, my question is, we're in the 12% tax bracket, and I've been converting $25,000 a year into Roth from traditional, and I was wondering, last year I had to pay $4,500 in tax on that. Would my tax rate go down?
Well, what's going to happen is the $12,000 that you and your wife have, are because I'm assuming you're both over 64, correct?
Correct.
So I was looking at your $12,000 that you're going to get with the new senior deduction will save you about $1,440.
Okay.
So that'll drop you down to more like $3,000.
Oh, that's good. I just learned about that seminar you're having in September. We're going to sign up for that.
Oh, that's great. I think because then we'll take a look at other aspects too. Maybe you be able to itemize this year too. And the other thing is, I said the 14.4, but the truth is the standard deduction is going up again, so it may be more like $2,000. And when you're in the seminar, we'll sit down with you and we'll tell you exactly what you're going to save. Now, are you having withholding out of your Social Security?
I have withholding from my New York State pension.
Okay, so you might want to modify that too, but we'll let you know when you come to the seminar.
Yeah, there's a handful of our staff coming, so who knows, maybe you might see Jack.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Wonderful.
Great.
He's the nicest guy.
Well, have a great fall. Go Bills, and thanks for calling.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank
God
you,
bless.
John. All right, I'm Esther Gilius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. It got chilly, didn't it?
Oh, it was like a curtain dropped. It was so quick. It was hot, and then like a 20
But that's
degrees.
exactly how summer comes in, too. It'll be cold, and then 90.
Yeah.
Well, we got
Right.
we got spoiled with the 90, so now we think the 75 is cold.
Right,
So
that's true. All right, let's go back to the phones. We're going to talk to Carol. Hi, Carol. How can we help you?
it's Christian.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, Christian.
Hi.
How
Hi.
can we help
Christine.
you?
How are you, tax lady?
Good. I'm great. How about you?
Oh, good. I'm hearing rumors and such about a certain like that you have to fill out by the 15th to get a $350 tax break that we're supposed to get.
From
Okay,
Kathy
do you-
Hochul.
Have
From
you,
Kathy Hogle. So do you know how that is or what we have to do for that?
do you own a home?
A trailer.
Okay. You're not paying property taxes then, correct?
I know I am on the STAR program.
Yeah, but then you're
If we're talking about the 229, you have to you're paying lot rent.
No,
rather-
isn't she talking about the money that Kathy Hochul's mailing out, the
Oh,
$200?
okay. And that's you've
Yes.
filed tax returns, correct?
No.
Yes, but
Yes.
someone said we have to file for that or we don't get
Well,
it.
have you filed recently? Have you filed the tax return recently?
for 2023.
Yes.
Then you'll be fine. It'll be automatic.
Good question.
So they're going to send it to us? Because someone
As
said
long
if
as you
don't-
filed the tax return in 2023, it's supposed to be automatic. Yes.
Okay, because my friend said I had to fill out some form or we didn't get it.
No, they're going to start mailing as long as you filed your 2023 return. They're going to start mailing check. They're mailing checks. They're not going to be direct deposit. They're mailing checks starting the end of September.
The end of September.
Yep.
All right, so we still got some time.
So
there's
be
no-
nice to your mailman.
We always are.
That's good. Good
All right,
question.
great. Well, hey, thank you for the call and the question. I'm Esther Gilius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 716-8030930. Yes, Christopher.
As long as she brought up the New York State check
know.
because we're getting tons of
Federal,
calls.
I was just going to talk about
If
that.
you're single and your 23 income was less than 75,000, you're going to get a check for $200. If it was between 75 and not more than 150, you're going to get $150. Married joint, it starts, get the full $400 check because there's two of you. That's the 200 times two. If it's 150,000 or less, if your income falls between 150 and 300, you're going to get $300. So income does fall into play with these checks. So we just all have to wait and be patient and see what actually comes in the mail. But it is off of your 2023 tax return.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's very, with the rising price of electricity and all that good stuff, it'll be wonderful to have that extra money. So I appreciate that from Kathy Hochul.
Yeah, and I hear that the electric bills are really supposed to go up. So,
It's a very nice thing of her to do.
that's true. That's true. All right. So let's talk about itemizing, because why would somebody itemize, you guys?
To save money, hopefully.
Right. In other words, when you're doing a tax return based upon your filing status, that means basically whether you're single, if you're head of the household, if you're married filing a joint return, or married filing a separate return, or a qualifying widower with dependent children. Based upon those 5 criteria, they're going to let you reduce the amount of income you have by a certain amount of money, and that's called the standard deduction. But there's like 5 categories of things that they say, but if you have expenses that you paid that are over and above what we're going to give you, and they fall into these 5 categories, then you can have a larger deduction rather than a standard deduction. And so for being single, your standard deduction this year, if you're under the age of 65, is $15,750. If you're over the age of 64, then it's $17,750. If you're married filing a joint return and you're under 65, and you're under 65, it's $31,500. But if you're both over 64 or 65, you're going to get an extra $3,200. So your standard deduction is $34,700. To that, the seniors that are over the age of 64 are going to get an additional $6,000 a piece, or $12,000 per couple. So the seniors this year, and that's why the first gentleman that called, they're going to get the $12,000, provided their income isn't over $300,000. They're going to get the extra $12,000 deduction and the increased standard deduction. So the seniors could be pretty happy. Now, it's not going to be the full Social Security that's tax-free this year, because that computation still remains the same. But there is the extra potential of $12,000 and the extra standard deduction if you're a senior. But let's look at what some of the things that are deductible if you itemize and you come over that standard deduction. That'll save you even more money. And we'd still have time to kind of engineer some of these itemized deductions so that you can beat the standard deduction, especially since the $40,000 SALT deduction is new this year. So that's a good thing. So the first thing we want to talk about is medical. Now, on your Social Security, you're paying Medicare tax, correct?
Yep.
And that's A, B, possibly C and D.
Correct.
Right? When you take a look at that's a deductible medical expense.
It is. The Medicare that you pay is deductible,
Right.
Potentially.
Right. And over and above that, you also can take glasses, your supplemental medical insurance, or your medical insurance that you pay out of pocket, not the one that your employer pays, because that's tax-free, prescriptions, hearing aids, hearing aid batteries, dental implants, which if you've been at the dentist, that's like buying a new car. I mean, because they're very expensive. Nursing homes, doctors, nurses, co-pays, capital improvements, psychiatric, psychologists, medical travel at 21 cents a mile, medical deductions, and from all of that, you have to reduce that by a 7.5% floor based upon your adjusted gross income. But when you take a look at all of those medical expenses that you pay out of pocket, that it can add up to a whole lot of money, right?
It certainly can, yeah. And like you said, I very well is we could try. We've got 4 months here to try to engineer and make it so it's something that you could potentially use for 2025. So but if you have lots of medical expenses, especially dental, you might want to put it into the year 2025.
Right. So if your income, adjusted gross income is $50,000, they're going to reduce your medical by $3,750, 7.5% of your adjusted gross income. So, but let's say you went to the dentist, and my sister-in-law went, and her bill was $42,000.
Wow.
So, I mean, talk about beating the floor for medical. I mean, so you want to put as much deductible medical together. So let's say that you have a big dental bill and you have glasses, and you think maybe I'll do the glasses in January. No, put it together into this year's medical so that you're going to maximize the amount of medical expenses that you incurred. Right?
That's right.
And then tell everybody how would a capital improvement be medical?
Sure. So let's say you have to put a ramp on your house because you or your spouse or some family member is disabled. And so the ramp costs $20,000. And so then you need to see how much the value of your house improved because of that ramp. A lot of times it doesn't increase the value
Probably a ramp wouldn't.
Right. So
wouldn't
usually
do
it doesn't.
But if you had to
increase
remodel your bathroom because of a medical situation,
Right,
that
that-
would be different. And unfortunately, we're going to have to break for the news right now, and we'll talk about other medical things on the other side of the news. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on the cell phone. And you can text us at 716-8030930. We'll talk to you on the other side. Hey, to us, you are family. Don't forget about our seminar that's coming up on the big, beautiful bill and our tax school. But we're talking about itemizing on some things that you want to do. And so if you have medical expenses, you want to load up your medical in 1 year so that floor affects you less. We were talking before the break about if you did a capital improvement to the house, for medical purposes, that's a deduction as well. So if you had big dental and glasses and prescription and we had to redo your bathroom with grip bars and things for a medical condition, after you reduce whatever the increase in value to the home is due to the remodeling that you had done for your medical condition, then what's left is another form of medical deduction. So all of those things, and hand like if you're disabled and you have hand appliances so you can drive your car properly, that's all deductible. There are, if it has something to do with alleviating a specific medical problem, it's going to be deductible. So that all gets added together, right?
It does. It's really, you just really pay attention to it. And I
And
did
nursing homes,
somebody's
let's face it, nursing
return
homes are-
this week with nursing home. That's what I was just about. You stole my thunder. Nursing home, and it was just great,
And then when we're talking about nursing home, not only is it an itemized deduction on the federal, but you also get if it's private pay, you also get a credit on the state of New York for the bed taxes, right?
That's right. That's right. They'll charge you anywhere from 6 to 7% assessment tax. That's assessment tax is a bed tax, and New York State gives you almost all of that back. They give you not 6% of what they charge you, but if you pay $400 a night, 6% of that is $24 a day.
A day.
You get back on your New York State tax
And it's
return.
refundable.
That's
I mean,
right.
They're going to send you the money, even though you didn't send them anything. They've been taking it because of the nursing home. So not only is it itemized deduction, but it's also a credit on New York State. And the other thing that's a medical expense is for long-term care insurance.
Yeah, it's a credit on the federal and it's also a credit on the state. And so you get to deduct the amount of that long-term care as a potential medical deduction on the federal. There's a limit every year, I think, for a single person. It's like around 3,200, Chris. Is that around right? And
Depending
then,
upon your age.
Depending
yeah.
on your age, all the way
Yeah.
up to like 5,200.
yeah,
Right.
it's about 3,200 to 5,200. And then also it's a non-refundable if you have any, not, it shouldn't, excuse me, it's a amount that eats up your liability on the state and it goes
And
forward
it
every
carries
year.
forward.
Carries
So
forward
whatever
every year.
wasn't used, you carry it forward. So, I mean, and those are things that we would talk about in the seminar too, because the $40,000 SALT deduction availability really has changed the landscape, so to speak. Okay, we have a text here, right, Tev?
Yep, it says, what is the standard deduction for a married couple? One is 64 and the other spouse is 71 for tax year
For
2025.
filing a joint return, it'd be $33,100.
That's
they
a
get
lot
a-
of money
Right.
to
So
to
it
back
is.
away.
And then on top of that, one of them would get the $6,000, provided their income's under $300,000, right?
That's right. That's right.
All right, so, and we have Ray that's
Ray.
been holding, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Ray, how can we help you, sir?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi.
I have a question regarding energy credits. I'm going to have a new roof put on with some new insulated skylights and a whole house fan. What portion of that would be eligible, if any, towards the credit for a tax credit for energy improvements?
Chris, you want to answer that?
Well, the skylights would count because those are windows.
And the
Okay.
insulation.
If they put in
I
insulation,
thought I heard him say that. but I'm not-
insulated windows.
Oh,
Yeah,
So,
so
how do I break that?
the,
how do
the
I break
maximum
that?
would be $3,200 if you did energy conservation, but the roof is not going to qualify. But the skylights, if they are high efficiency skylights, then they would qualify. And I think the credit would be, is it $500
Up to
or $600?
$600.
Yeah.
yeah. And you want to know how to break it apart. When they're doing it, ask them to itemize it for you. Is what I would do.
And if they've already done it, ask them to separate it so that you have proof.
All righty.
Enjoy. This is a good year to get it done because in 2026 it's gone. So very smart of you. I
Right.
was driving down the road and I was
Thank you.
looking.
Tap, tap.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye. I was driving down the road and I was looking at people doing work around their house and actually I was looking at a green metal roof and I thought to myself, metal roofs used to count, but they don't really count anymore, do they?
Nope.
No. Yep.
Well, and as of December 31st, nothing's going to count.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on here. So we talked about medical. The next part of those 5 things that are itemized deduction would be taxes. And so property taxes are deductible on any property that you have, whether it's your primary home or secondary home, vacation home,
Lots
cottage.
of land.
Yeah, all of those property taxes are potentially itemized deduction. Foreign taxes paid if you don't do a foreign tax credit. State and local withholding taxes from your when you're an employee and they take it out of your paycheck. That's a deduction. If you're doing estimates to New York State, the estimated taxes you're paying. If you paid New York State a balance due last year, that's deductible.
Yeah.
Right? Sales taxes, if it's more than you're withholding, like me, you might be a New York State retiree on a New York State pension, and you don't pay taxes, but you do pay sales taxes. So you might not have state and local taxes withheld, but you might have bought a new yacht or something last year, and 8 3/4% is deductible. Right?
That's right. That's right.
So that's number 2. That's the second one. Number 3 would be mortgage interest and home equity interest if it was to improve your primary residence, all right, if it's home equity. And it can be the interest on your primary home and secondary home. So, with interest rates that went up the last couple of years, interest, when it was 2.9%, it was not so much to write off, but now with 6%, 5 and 6% mortgage rates that you're paying, your mortgage interest may be deductible. And if you used a home equity to do remodeling, like the guy with the skylights or his window, even though it might not be deductible as a energy conservation, the interest that he's paying on that loan, if there is a loan, would be deductible as an itemized deduction.
Yep, it would. It would, which is really exciting. There were so many people not being able to use those home equity lines of credit. And let's face it, sometimes those interest rates are higher on the home interest rate on the home equities.
On a home equity.
Yeah, than the primary. The primary rates sometimes are just so low right now in the 2s, whereas the home equities sometimes are variable, and so the rates are much higher.
And speaking of the interest section, starting in 2026 tax return, your PMI is brought back.
Now, to explain what that is, Chris.
That's your mortgage insurance you pay through your mortgage company. So because you're paying it, the government's going to let you write it off again as part of your itemized deductions. And that's not cheap. It could be anywhere from $100 a month to $250 a month, depending on the size of your mortgage. So that adds up really fast.
Correct me, it never drops off anymore, right?
Nope.
Yep, doesn't drop off. There used to be a time when it reached a certain value, 50% or 60% of the value, it would drop off. It no longer drops off, so you have to pay for it the whole time. And so that's something to really... Does New York State allow it too? I don't think so, right? Or we don't know. We're not sure.
I don't think they do,
which-
because they don't follow suit with the federal, and so this is a new thing on the federal, because the federal had it on, then they took it off, then they're putting it back on in 2026, but I don't believe MIP is deductible in New York State.
Yeah, and then sort of just speaking of New York State, I had another caller the other day. Her daughter doesn't have to file, but she wanted to make sure that she got the money from Kathy Hoko, so she has made an appointment to have her daughter come in and file her income taxes, and so we can do that too. So if you need to file.
Well, and here's the other thing. Many times people aren't filing to their own detriment because they say, well, I don't have to do the tax return, but there are so many credits and refundable credits, and like the IT 229 for property taxes the last few years. I mean, that's money they're giving you because they have all these little like social programs in there. Mm-hmm. So before you say, oh, I just don't feel like doing this, make sure that you're not shooting yourself in the foot.
That's right.
Especially if you have children at home.
Yep, most definitely.
Right? Okay, so we covered medical, we covered taxes, we covered interest. Then the next thing that's deductible would be charitable contributions. And starting in 2026, they're going to let the first $2,000 in charitable you pay, or if you're married filing a joint return, or $1,000 in charity that you pay if you're single, to be over and above the itemized deduction, whether you have it's over and above the standard deduction. So if you can't itemize, they're going to allow you to take that as an adjustment starting in 2026, not in 2025 though.
Right. So charity, they're still, and then they're going to start limiting it a little, very little.
In 26,
In
right.
26, yes.
So let's talk about charitable deductions. First of all, in order for it to be a charity, it has to be a qualified 501c3 charity. So let's say that your heart is touched by somebody and they do a, what's it called?
A GoFundMe.
Yes, GoFundMe. Is GoFundMe's deductible?
No.
And a lot of people don't know that. I mean, if it was a GoFundMe that was to a qualified 501c3, that would be deductible. But if it's just a GoFundMe, John fell off the roof and we all feel bad and we're going to help him with his medical bills, that's not deductible.
That's right, which surprises a lot of people. It's very philanthropic. It's very nice of you to do. But
all right, and let's also talk about, for charity, let's say you drop stuff off at the Goodwill.
Yeah.
Right? You empty out your house, cleaned everything out and everything. You dropped everything at the Goodwill. How much of that can you take as a deduction?
it's like garage sale value. So if you go to Salvation Army or Goodwill, there's a costing figure calculator based on if it's in good, fair, or not fair condition. And so it's basically what you would put it out for in a garage sale.
Okay, so let's just say that you dropped everything off. Nobody knew it. You just stuffed it in the bin. Is everything good?
No. No.
Say why.
You have to get the slip that they provide for you. And then even Chris and I have been to enough audits downtown in Buffalo that they will so much as also ask for photographs and pictures of the things that you dropped off. So,
And you need a corroboration from the charity.
Right, you
You
need the
just
receipt.
can't leave it on the doorstep of the charity and say, I gave it. There, you have to have proof that you gave it, and the charity has to give you that little slip
Even though it's blank, it's up to you to fill it in, keep that list.
and take pictures. And so that's really important. Now, what if for charity you want to bless a charity and you have Apple stock that you paid $10 for and it's now worth $300,000. I don't know how much is Apple stock worth. It's a lot of money.
A lot of
right?
money.
So you give the equivalent of $20,000 worth of Apple stock, but you only paid $2,000 for it. How much can you take as a deduction?
You actually get the full appreciated value, and that's the benefit of donating stock.
And that's really a great way to do it. Let's say that you have appreciated stock in your portfolio and you are normally, somebody writes a check out to charity. You might be better off, or you would be better off, to give that appreciated stock to the charity because you get the higher value even though you didn't sell it and pay taxes on it.
Right.
Whereas the other income that you would be writing a check for is after tax dollars. This is before tax dollars. The gross amount is still deductible. So another way to bless a ministry or a charity and really bless yourself as well.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
All right. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Text us at 716-8030930. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back on the other side. Oh, you didn't play the Bill Shout song. Thank God, because I'll be thinking
Was
about
in
it all
there
weekend.
with
right?
crocodiles.
Pardon me?
One
He's
more
been
week
up
to
to his
kick off.
eyeballs in crocodiles.
Oh, so they're not playing this week?
No.
Oh, well, then that's why you didn't play it. All right,
Exactly.
that's good. I take it back. All right, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Text us at 716-8030930. And so we're on charitable deductions. So if you have appreciated stock and if you sell it, you may pay up to 20% on the federal and the state of New York. You're 6 or 7%, so that's almost 30%. But if you are a charitable person and you want to give a couple $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 to a charity, give it with the appreciated stock. You don't pay taxes on it, and you get the deduction for the whole thing. The other thing is, let's say you're sitting there with a big IRA of $1 million and your RMD is $25,000, you can also not pay taxes on that RMD if you're, again, somebody that would give to a charity by doing a QCD, right?
Correct.
Which is?
A qualified charitable donation.
Right. So that's two ways to gift assets that you get a big benefit for it and you don't pay taxes on it.
Right?
Sounds great.
Yeah, really, really good. Now, of course, you don't get to deduct it as an itemized deduction.
Well, not on the QCD, but you do on the appreciated stock. Right?
That's right.
So, I mean, it's a great way to, and again, this requires tax planning,
It does.
and So that's another thing. All right, and we have text, right?
Yep. Is the deduction for nursing homes the same for assisted living residents? And so I think the test is that in order to be deductible for the assisted living, the patient or the resident can't perform a handful of their activities of daily living. For instance, maybe they can't get dressed themselves, they can't bathe themselves,
Take their medications.
Toileting.
And so if that was the case, if they passed that, or, then you could take that deduction. And assisted living homes are very costly. And so this person asks a really good question.
Right. Well, but not as costly as nursing home. Like a nursing home might be $15,000 a month, whereas assisted living might be $8,000 or $9,000.
Right. But it still adds up. So it
Oh my
definitely
gosh, absolutely. But when you're comparing 15,000 to 9,000, you feel like wow.
Yeah.
But yes, so you have to see if they can perform those functions. If they're unable to, then it would qualify as a medical expense,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
All right. Do we have another?
We
text?
got Bob on the phone. Hey,
Hey,
Bob.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I don't know if I misunderstood what you said or not, but about the mother that told her daughter to go down and file to get the Kathy Hochul money.
Yeah, I mentioned that the mom who told her daughter to come file, right? Because her daughter is disabled and hasn't filed her tax returns for the last few years. And so I do the mom's tax return, and so she called me checking to see if her daughter had to file.
Right.
Okay,
So,
but if I filed in 2024, I'd be good.
well, you have to file a 23 tax return.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, because when I was listening to it, they made it sound like these checks were going to come out this fall to everybody.
Yeah, but it's
They are coming out fall.
only if you filed a 23 tax return.
Okay.
And
So
It's
just-
really bizarre how
you didn't file one, Bob?
Pardon?
You didn't file one?
I filed in New York State income tax for 2024.
Well, how about 23?
I got money back for 23 because.
Okay. But I mean, that in order to get money back, you had to file, right?
Okay, yeah.
So you're good.
I'm good.
You're good.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. I just misunderstood what was said.
All right, Bob.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
calling.
Good question. And of course, if somebody didn't file their 2023 return, I would be remiss to say that we will do it for you if you need us to.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because free money
No other
is free
calls,
money.
no other texts right now, right?
No, just a couple more minutes left.
All right. So I wanted to number. So we went through medical, taxes, interest, and charity, right?
Yep.
Gambling losses would be number 5. And this is, don't you guys agree that I feel so sorry for people that are have gambling winnings because they think they can deduct the losses, and they kind of can, but not really.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So explain how that works.
So the income automatically goes on the Schedule 1, which flows over to page 1 of the 1040. So if you had gambling winnings of $30,000 and you had losses of 20, it's not that you only put $10,000 on your tax return. The $30,000 still goes on your tax return, and then potentially if you itemize, the losses go of $20,000 go as an itemized deduction for the federal and the state. But maybe your standard deduction is $34,000, and so you don't have enough to itemize. So it is not a wash.
Well, and the thing is, you have to claim all the winnings, even though you might have lost it all. So on under the income section, you got all these gambling winnings. The itemized is where you get to take the losses up to the winnings. So, and if you don't have enough to itemize, you just pay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, in years past, the win-loss, you used to be able to get your statement from the casino, and they would say, here's your net gross wins. here's your gross losses and here's your net. And you would have to claim all that winning on your tax return. So you may have only hit 2 jackpots for $4,000, but all your winnings throughout the year was $22,000. So you had to technically claim the $22,000 on your tax return.
Oh, you know what? Beverly just called in. You want to try to sneak in Beverly?
Yeah, we'll do Bev fast. Hey, Bev, how can we help you?
Hi, my husband and I were updating our house a little bit. Our siding is very old, and our doors and that, so we're putting on new siding, which will have some insulation in that, and doors. Will we be able to claim that as like a capital improvement or anything on our taxes this year?
Insulation is one of the best forms of the energy credit that you can get. So just talk to the contractor and have them say how much of this is insulation. Further, the doors and windows, as long as they're Energy Star, you also would qualify for energy credits on that as well, but not the siding.
Okay. Yeah, the doors, we're getting those new storm doors and the new inside doors, too. Okay.
Not inside doors. It's got to be all exterior Energy Star doors and windows. Interior doors don't count.
Well, I meant like our front door. You know,
door on it,
absolutely. But it's the front doors. Okay, so we should just make sure we get
the price broken down.
And be ready. And because it's so sad when you're sitting down with somebody and it's after the fact, it's the middle of winter, it's been snowing outside, they had it done in July and they didn't get it from the contractor, and now nobody knows how to split it up. So it's just like when you're dropping things off at the Goodwill, you got to make sure the attendant is there. When you're having insulation and things done in your home and it's all in a big package, they give you a $15,000 quote, have them break it down so that you can take those credits.
Esther, you want to sneak in the Island Men?
We do.
Yeah, we can. Is that Kevin? Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Kev.
Hey, really quick, good afternoon.
You got 30 seconds.
Is it only married or single filers getting back our money from Hokel to Joko, or is it only families?
It's single people, too.
Single people, too.
Good. Oh, the singles to mingles getting piece of the action, too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and I ain't looking to Cathy either. Hey, guys, take care.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, you can go down to the Wing Fest right now, Chicken Wing Festival downtown. That's wonderful. So Kevin can do that. Until next week, I'm Esther Goulias, the tax lady with Tiffany Fabian, Christopher Fabian. To register for our big, beautiful bill seminar, would love to have you go to our website at egtax.com. We also have our tax school coming up. Until next week, and if you have any questions in between, I'm Esther Goulias, the tax lady. Chris and Tiff are there to help you too. Give us a jingle. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your calls.